Welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports, your favorite uneducated sports podcast. It's your boy Mars, aka your favorite hood referee. But this isn't a debate episode. This is a general sports chat episode. So we have some great topics. Of course, we got the host and the founder, my man Kyle Jones, out of sunny Tampa, Florida. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Another day in paradise. And of course, you guys don't know him on Blow the Whistle Sports, but you definitely know him from all of the Mars Media content, from Politicking as Usual to Down in the Den, After Dark, and of course, his hilarious Black Air Force Energy segments. The one, the only Pharaoh of Christian Mingle, the notorious Big Gerald. How you doing today, brother?
Big Gerald.
Man, everything swing. Y'all see LeBron behind me? That means I'm guaranteed to get to the playoffs at least.
The GOAT.
You talking goat talk, and I think we all can agree that is goats. You don't see the referee shirt. As I mentioned, this is not a debate episode. This is a general episode. So sun's out, guns out. We're right here in Planet Mars studio, and we're about to get it in. So if y'all ready to begin, let's rock and roll. Summerslam, that's right. We don't just cover all sports. We cover sports entertainment too. And for those WWE heads, the biggest party of the summer just occurred. SummerSlam, Roman Reigns, Bloodline storyline, Seth Rollins. It's been a great show. It was a great show. So we're going to talk about it. And we got a specialist, a man that may love WWE more than me, the one and only Big Gerald. So, brother, we're going to let you lead off. What were your thoughts on SummerSlam? What do you rate the show if you're going to give it a letter grade? And what was your favorite match? And what do you think is going out for the next 6 months in WWE's future?
All right. So if for me personally, I get a show a B. I think it was put together well. As a purist in wrestling, I think they need to do more with the women's division. Of course, anybody in here who follows wrestling knows that they cut a couple of the women's wrestling matches due to time constraints. They even showed one of the video packages, and the match never happened, which didn't make a lot of sense. All in all, it was a great match. The first match, Ricochet versus Logan Paul, they got that out the way so he can fly and actually be in his brother's corner and get in that horrible fight against Nate Diaz. But we'll touch on that later. Um, but I will say, he may not be a pure wrestler, but Logan Paul is a great athlete.
Yeah.
They put on a stellar match. The double Spanish fly set was actually pretty good, despite the fact that it was very, very warm in that arena and they were slipping a little bit. Logan Paul hit a bump shot lariat from the inside of the ring to the outside. That was stellar. But him and Ricochet, of course, they're gonna burn up the card. Uh, Everybody's favorite son, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Also a great banger of a match. They let Brock kind of loose. He got to be the beast last night. Took him to Suplex City. Pretty much a great way to kind of tie that story off. Cody ended up pulling it off in the end. Brock raising his hand. The WWE is very strategic with their baby faces, even though there's a man we're about to talk about who the whole WWE universe is behind, but they're pushing their money to the middle of the table for Cody Rhodes, which is kind of cool. And even though this was my least favorite match of the night, well, second least favorite match, we'll talk about the Ronda Rousey match in a minute. But the Battle Royal, it like me and you was talking about offline, kind of unnecessary. But they had the hottest person in wrestling right now in the LA Knight. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean he brought it together last night. He is so over it, it doesn't make any sense. He can do no wrong in the ring, and even when he botches stuff, they still are cheering like it's nobody's business. If I'm the WWE, I'm pushing him to the moon. Um, of course, they had the Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler match, which is you could have did without that. I think the incorporation of two sports entertainment, well, a non-sports entertainment and the sports entertainment doesn't really work because it was a unsanctioned UFC match, which was trash because they weren't gonna let them get into it all the way. And of course, Ronda Rousey got choked out, and I think that's why that got over so well because she brings so much heat as a bad guy. There was some great championship matches. Drew McIntyre and Gunther, man, for the Intercontinental Championship, that was a banger of a match. That could have won another 10 minutes. I wouldn't have been mad at that. The women's championship match, it was pretty good. Of course, sports entertainment like me, Mars. Bianca had to get hurt, had to come back and, win the belt, only to have the briefcase play a part and cash it in, and it goes to EO Sky, which is great because now she can get her storyline going with her. I think that's going to be great. We didn't get to see the tag champs last night as far as for the men's division. Um, Shout out to KO. Hope he gets a speedy recovery. He has a couple of broken ribs, but that plays into what happened in the main event last night in the Bloodline. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. We're talking about what was it called? Tribal Combat.
Tribal
And boy, I
combat
mean,
seems like just a regular no DQ match to me, but okay, cool. I thought we were going to see like some coconuts or some some type of tribal setting. They should have did it on the beach somewhere. I don't think there's any beaches in Detroit, but that would have been cool.
no. And but so for me, why the babies face stipulations that work against you in the long run? Because essentially, with your twin brother out, you got nobody in your corner. There wasn't a Sami Zayn appearance, of course, as I said, but Roman Reigns, he's gonna have Solo, who made an appearance, and then once the world, he got his second win, and he was gonna shock the world. Then come your brother to betray you in the end, which everybody that's a wrestling fan seen that coming. So I love the storyline stuff, but I think they're running out of ideas on how to keep the belt on Roman. And if I'm WWE, that wattage that LA Knight got right now, I'll throw him in a match sometime soon. Put him on Roman's radar. I mean, of course, we know he won't win it, but man, can you imagine? They can't say they won't use their hottest baby faces against Roman and let him lose because, man, it took all of Cody's win at his sale after he lost at WrestleMania. But we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, it was a very solid pay per view. I agree with your grade of a B. There's some things that if I had the pencil, I probably wouldn't have done. Uh, the biggest highlight or biggest faulty area I see, I agree with you 100%, is the booking of the Raw's women's division. You have arguably one of the top three most over superstars with Rhea Ripley in wrestling right now. She is a dastardly heel that people love. She gets a huge reaction, and of course, her and Dirty Dom together are solid platinum. So for them not to really play a part or have a role with her title is weird to me. I've always been, a fantasy booker in my head, and for me, there needs to be a title match for every title in the main roster, every pay per view. And you build your stories around that. That's what you're there for. Maybe you can have one or two grudge matches or matches that are personal, but you should always book around the titles. So them not having a women's world title match on the pay per view is super weird to me, especially when you have Trish Stratus back, hot as ever, still phenomenal at 47 years old. Becky Lynch, at some point, she was the biggest star in the company. She was getting Stone Cold Steve Austin level pops. To not have Sami Zayn, I thought Sami Zayn would interfere on behalf of Jey Uso. I think that was an opportunity. Okay, KO's out, fine. Have Sami Zayn show up and help when we know Solo was going to arrive, and then Jay coming out, or I'm sorry, Jimmy coming out, and us not knowing, is he going to help Roman? Is he going to, is he going to help his brother? That would have been a better sway. Him laying, the three of them laying out Sammy and Jay and putting the ones up would have been how I would have done that if you're going to book that betrayal. But overall, solid pay per view. They've been doing great business, selling out shows, selling out on the road, merch doing well. Bloodline is a new golden era, and I'm not ready to give up on the storyline just yet. I'm going to give grace and give some time. For me, this is the first misstep they've taken in 3 years with this storyline. I can forgive, and it's going to be depending on what happens this Friday from there. But overall, I give it a B. Solid show. A couple of missteps, but overall, WWE is going to keep that train running, and they're doing their thing.
All right, so I want to put this caveat out there. I know nothing about wrestling, and I think I'm not going to even like take it up. But it's interesting listening to y'all too. I've been writing some notes, so I got some questions. So Cody Rhodes, is that Dustin Rhodes' son?
Dusty Rhodes'
Dusty
son.
Rhodes.
Dusty
Dusty,
Rhodes'
okay,
brother.
Dusty. Is
The
that
son
one?
of a plumber.
Was that Gold Dust too?
Gold Dust is Dustin Rhodes. So they're both sons of Dusty Rhodes. So yeah, Dustin Rhodes was Gold Dust. That's what most of us know him from. And he's also the older brother, much older brother than Cody. I think they have
I was
different
about to
moms.
say, how old is
They do.
the brother?
Dusty's in his mid 50s, right? Like 53, 54.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cody's like 36, something like that.
Oh, so I'm missing a person. So Dusty. So dad is he still alive? He gotta be super old.
No, he's super
No, he
dead.
passed away.
All right. Secondly, Ronda Rousey. She fighting in the WWE?
Yeah, she's been there since what,
For
2018?
years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's multi-time women's champ. She started off getting huge reactions, but now she just gets go away heat. She didn't get any better from her, in my opinion, from her original debut when she was debuting with The Rock at WrestleMania and beating up Stephanie McMahon, and she won the title a couple of times. She was pretty good as a heel, but overall, from my understanding, because I read the dirt sheets, this was her grand goodbye, and she wanted to put her good friend Shayna Baszler over. So she ended up getting choked out, but it was an MMA rules match in WWE. Well, you know they're not going to really, because MMA is completely unscripted and anything can happen. So they were doing these little love taps, and it just looked bad. Like they don't mesh very well.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
All right, so I seen Ronda Rousey was in the news for something. She criticized somebody or some sport or something like that. Maybe the WNBA. I gotta look it up. I know she did something. So I got one more question. Y'all been hearing about the negotiations between SmackDown and Fox?
Yes, Fox
So
is apparently unwilling to pay a penny more, which doesn't bode well for them continuing to be on Fox, because with the profits that WWE is making currently, there's no way they're going to accept the same deal. And they've done the jump. I remember Raw was on TNN for a few years, just super weird. But yeah, they'll make the jump if need be. I'm hearing Warner Brothers, who also owns AEW or partial controller AEW, are very interested in buying. So that would be weird if they were on the same network.
that
Yeah.
would. Oh, go ahead, Gerald.
I think another reason why is Rampage's ratings are horrendous. They're not bringing in the viewership on a Friday that they originally thought that it would. And then, has anyone in here even watched an episode of Collusion yet?
I
Collision,
have
I'm sorry.
I have not. It might as well be collusion because it's collusion to give CM Punk his own show. I have not.
Yeah.
AEW is reckless. I tried my darndest to give it because they have some great stars: Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. They have fantastic wrestlers, but for me, I'm in it for not only the action in the ring. I'm here for the storylines. I'm here for, like, my favorite time in wrestling was the Attitude Era and the NWO
Yeah.
era, where
Right.
you had these great storylines. The ring product may not have been the greatest. Like Stone Cold, who many will agree is top 3 of all time, did like 4 moves. It wasn't really all about the wrestling. It was about the storyline, the energy that gave you. And AEW to me is just like put wrestling on and watch wrestling with no storyline hardly behind it. So I've kind of been out of the AEW loop for a while now. But every now and then I'll check in and see what's going on. It just doesn't do it for me.
So that's all the
All right.
questions that I had.
Ooh, yeah. So thank you, Gerald. Thank you for giving those intriguing views. I agree wholeheartedly. We know Alvin, he was about to ask if Hulk Hogan had a match. So I think it's time.
Well, I did run across Ric Flair the other day, so I mean, who knows? He was still. I mean,
Was he at a bar?
Yeah, he had just finished.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Flair, I got no beef with you, man, because he still like he can take me. All right, so next subject. Y'all the experts in this. I guess is it Logan Paul? He
No,
beat
this is
up
Jake Paul.
Jake
Jake
Paul.
Paul.
See, they both suck to me. I guess he beat up Nate Diaz yesterday, who was one of my favorite fighters. Didn't get to see the fight. Forgot that it was even on. So I
You
know
ain't missing nothing.
I've been seeing that everybody said it sucked. It looked like it was staged. So what y'all think about it?
Go ahead, Gerald. I'll let you start off.
I think something you said off screen was accurate. Nate was there for the check. Let me get this money. Let me let Jake hit me a couple of times because if this was a real true fight and he took it seriously, you would have seen it. His body language, even when he came out, he wasn't into it. Once it got started, you could tell he was sluggish. That second round was pivotal because Jake Paul, I think in his head, he takes it serious. So he conditions himself seriously.
Yeah, he definitely
Even
takes.
though, yeah, even though we can all agree he ain't never fighting another boxer in that ring no time soon.
No,
No.
It'll be
learn
these
this
stage
lesson.
matches. Yeah, he learned that wholeheartedly. So to me, Nate was there. He was there to get the check. Jake did what the Paul brothers do all the time. They talk trash. He made it. He was really excited. He was the only one. He was he was the only one in the arena. He was the only one on his team. Nobody else was in it like him. Maybe his brother, but that's about where he humbled it.
And I give props to the Paul brothers for being able to promote themselves and essentially becoming stars for nothing with very little talent as far as it comes to what they necessarily do. But one thing I cannot take away from them, they are athletes, especially the younger or the older brother, Logan. What he does in WWE is phenomenal. Jake, on the other hand, like Gerald said, he's boxing non-boxers. That's like, can LeBron James beat a pro football player and a wide receiver? In this fantasy world, we like to say, oh yeah, of course he's a. Everything doesn't translate. I believe once he got off the line and got stuck, he would be like, holy shit, let me go back to dunking on people. It's not the same. And that's why he fights guys that are smaller, older, and people just assume, okay, I'm this guy's an MMA guy, he can fight. Boxing is a totally different sport from MMA. And you saw what happened when he fought an actual boxer. Tyson Fury is on no one's radar as the next Floyd Mayweather, but he lumped up Jake Paul because he's an actual boxer. I agree with you 100%. He'll never fight. He's more likely to fight one of us before he fights another boxer. And Nate Diaz, I saw him training. He was smoking a fat joint in the ring while boxing. He did take this seriously. He came into the same lazy shape that he normally does, and he was here for a check. And I'm not mad at him. And I understand that they've now agreed to do a $10 million MMA match where he'll probably get his victory back. Because that's no way I feel he's going to allow Jake Paul. It gave me Fitz vibes. It definitely gave me like, here's the script, no different than WWE. And I'm thinking, Jake, just go to WWE. Your brother's doing fantastic at it. You guys can be the next tag team champs if you wanted to. But I mean, he continues to make a mockery of the sweet science. But as long as he's making money, it is what it is. Boxing has done a good job of making a mockery of itself for years by not letting the best fighters fight each other or waiting till we touched this on the last episode, wait until people are out of their prime. So get your money, guys. But it was a trash fight.
All right, so my opinion about it, I agree with everything y'all said. I think y'all are correct. I hate Jake Paul. Let me put this out there. I hate all of this and what they're doing to boxing. But also, I got to give Jake Paul credit. Like, he's kind of brought boxing back to the spotlight, even though it was a mockery and everything that he's doing is a mockery. He's bringing attention back to the sport. I mean, this fight probably was more promoted and more popular than the fight last week, and that was two actual boxers. Also, I do agree he need to leave the real boxers alone. But if Nate Diaz fights Jake Paul, I feel like it's an even fight because Paul is not a boxer. Diaz is not a boxer. So you just putting two people in the ring and you're seeing who's the most athletic. Nate Diaz is my favorite MMA fighter of all time. I think just because he don't care, like he's gonna dish out punishment and he's gonna take punishment. So I agree with you. I think when he went in there, he didn't care about getting hit. I'm pretty sure he's been hit way harder than that.
Oh yeah.
I know he has. He don't care about that. Like he fight outside the club every week. You see Nate Diaz in an article fighting somebody out the club, beating somebody up. So although I love it. I mean, everybody's looking for content. Paul made a way. He said, I don't need WWE. I don't need boxing. I don't need UFC. I'll just make my own way. And then also all these fighters that retired, he's bringing them back in the spotlight. The Woodleys and all these other people that people forgot about. It's like they're getting their flowers with these last fights that they have or whatever. So I like everything that he's doing. I wish there was like an NBA player or somebody that can bring like old players like Dominique Wilkins or somebody out and just although play them in a one-on-one game, I like to see legends get their flowers and not just get thrown aside. So I love it for the sport.
And more
But
important,
I hate them.
yeah, and more importantly, getting their check because
Yeah.
MMA and UFC is notoriously underpaid their fighters for decades now. So these guys are making career earnings in one fight to kind of take a dive for Jake Paul. Hey, Jake Paul, I'm cheap. You give me a solid meal, you can beat me up for. I'll give you a round. I'll give you a round or two. I am for it. You know, Mars Media. We're not quite up there yet, but I gotta. Short man box. So maybe when he comes up, we can get.
Hey, I ain't gonna have y'all in the ring like Apollo Creed, like no matter what. We're not doing that.
No, throwing the towel.
Get Mars the lifetime supplies of big chicks. He'd be in there.
Absolutely, Joe. Jake looking at me like if he dies, he dies. I'm like, is that double big chick?
Mars might win that match.
Extra salt and lettuce. Yeah.
Yeah, put the like lettuce. I'm knocking him out.
Hit them with the senior frog punch. The Thanos.
Like Stella Rosa and Big Chicks, Mars in that fight in 2 seconds.
So, like you said, you want to watch old basketball players get together. You got to watch that Big Three league. Ice Cube got a great league for old school NBA players getting together. Jason Richardson looks like he can still play in the league, but it's a Big Three. So, yeah, don't put too much stock in it.
I don't want to see a whole bunch of old people. Like, I want to see just the old person versus like some up and coming YouTuber. I'm trying to name like a superstar, like I don't know, 2 Chainz or he old to Quavo or something like that. Something that's just that's interesting that'll draw me in. Yeah, I don't want to see Kwame Brown and Gilbert Arenas. They all bigger than us.
Well, they need to bring back the Rock and Jock. Shout out to MTV.
Yes.
Rock and Jock was the thing. I remember seeing Brian McKnight dunk on Gary Payton. I was like, holy shit! Not only does he sing remarkably great R&B songs, but this man can hoop. Shout out to Kobe, who was in the Brian McKnight video. Y'all look it up. And he was
don't do Kobe like that, man. No, it was horrible.
I love the Mamba, but he decided to do them rhymes. I can't. That was a choice he made.
Did he rap in like Spanish and like Italian and English?
He may have. All I remember, he was in a suit when everybody else was playing basketball. He was like, "Your love like a knife going through my body," and I'm like, Kobe, you can do a lot of things in the basketball court, but somebody should have slapped that microphone away from his hand.
We got to get the rights to that song. That got to be the theme song for the show.
Brian McKnight, I think he'll do it for us. Also for a bit chick. I don't think he's been doing that great in a while. Shout out to Brian.
He's coming up here. He'll be up here at Emma Queen sometime soon.
Yeah, I guess it'd be a couple of people go see him. So y'all got anything else about this before we move on?
Get your money, gentlemen. It's called Prize Fighter, and that's the first word is prize. So I support anybody getting their money. All right, and this one is definitely going to be a all Alvin topic because I don't give a shit about football. So it's back. America's #1 favorite pastime, not baseball, not internet or YouTube, but football is still the #1 passion around young men from the age of 18 to 50 years old. So it's back. Al, go ahead and take the lead on this one.
I've been waiting for this. We done got through the boring wrestling talk. I don't even know if that's a sport. That's another episode. We done got through fake boxing. Now to a real man sport, football. It's back. You probably gonna get a new episode of Blow the Whistle like every other day. I got to weight Gerald up. I'm gonna have to weight Mars up. We gotta find short man. I don't know. I'll find a hobo on the street. I just need somebody to talk football with. I got the Cowboys winning. Let's get that out the way. I think it's
Winning,
our year.
My man.
winning what specifically?
Everything. Super Bowl, NFC championship, everything.
We,
It's our
we
year.
just we just threw our credibility up on episode 5. We just threw it out the window. This is sports entertainment now.
We loaded. I've been looking at training camp videos, just like looking at the lives. Brandon Cooks look good. Lamb is lighting the secondary up. I think he's ready to take the next step. Dak, he's talking trash to Diggs. He's talking trash to the defense, fighting the offense. We just look inspired. We usually look soft. We don't look soft this year. Jerry's signing everybody back. Zach Martin will be back soon. So it's our year. I'll get that out the way. Now the contenders, the people I see coming up that can give the Cowboys a push, 49ers. First team I think of. I think they match up perfectly with us. They got the defense. Offense is just loaded. Like, they got the quarterback coming back for his second year, Kittle, Ayuk. I forgot the other wide receiver name.
Debo.
Yeah, Debo, the best player in the team. And then was the running back. Running back name from Carolina.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. They are loaded. And they scary. They scary. But you saw in the playoffs last year, we matched up with them. Like, if Dak would have not made the interception, made a couple of plays, I think we beat them. And I think we beat the Eagles because we match up with them. That's the third team, the Eagles. Same thing, loaded. AJ Brown, he gives Tavon Diggs fits. So I think that's a tough matchup. Hurts, you got to watch out for him. I think Smith would be even better. Running back, I think we got him in that. But like I said again, they also drafted Carter from Georgia, so they're going to be like loaded. And I'm trying to think anybody else in the NFC. That's really the only teams that I'm scared of. AFC, the Jets. Like Aaron Rodgers, now you put them with those young receivers. They got the running backs. The defense is pretty good. Good coaching staff. The Dolphins are good. The Bills will be back. I don't think they make it all the way. I think Josh Allen, he chokes in the big moment, so I don't see them making it. The Bengals, who I got going to the Super Bowl, they loaded. They loaded. I think Chase would be healthy this year. I think they start off on fire. They're amazing. The Ravens, you got to watch them. The AFC is so loaded. I don't even know who even makes the playoffs. Like, one of these teams got to miss the playoffs. I hadn't even got to like the AFC West and all these other teams. San Diego's loaded. I mean, the Los Angeles Chargers are loaded. The Raiders. What's the other team over in the West? This could be a good year, man. I'm just excited. Like, anybody can win it. It's gonna be us, but anybody can win it.
So I'd like to move on to a more realistic Cowboys fan, and then we're going to move on to who we think is going to truly pull this out. Because this is recorded, we'll be able to look back on this, and we'll have a touchback episode. Alvin, you were right with your boxing predictions, but when it comes to the Cowboys, you take a little bit of that sauce. You start drinking that Kool-Aid, you lose all credibility immediately. So, Gerald, please, also a fellow Cowboys fan, let's talk about who you feel is coming out of the NFC and who do you feel is coming out of the AFC, and then who do you feel is going to win it overall. So the floor is yours, bro.
Let me start by saying, y'all know I love my Cowboys. How about them? How about them? How about them? How about our running back situation?
We loaded.
No, we're not loaded. We got Tony Pollard.
You got Ronald Jones.
who suspended the
Are y'all
first two
naming
games.
fast food restaurant owners?
Listen,
Who are these
listen.
It,
people?
Talking about Ronald Jones, who wasn't
and
even the
Zeke
best running back on his team last year. We ain't got him.
and Zeke may come
So
back.
even if he come back, what does that do?
Sure,
Nothing.
go ahead, man. Make your argument. This already. I wish this was a debate show. Now this already started off wrong.
I
So
can put
no,
on a
here,
referee shirt. Come back.
listen here. So hear me out. I get this flack all the time because I'm a realist when it comes to football. I love my Cowboys. There's two things that are gonna stop us from doing anything other than winning. That's the man that's been making all the moves you said, Jerry Jones, because at
That's
the
true.
end of the day, he is the GM, he is the coach, he is the training staff, and he will not get out of his own way. And Mike McCarthy made it to the Super Bowl because of Aaron Rodgers, and that's where that stops. Um, we got an offensive coordinator. We lost Kellen Moore. We look good against ourselves because we always do. I think we're hungry because we have a really solid defense. Picking up Gilmore is going to make a lot of difference. Um, Michael Parsons is hungry. The young man, the other linebacker we picked up in the draft, he's hungry. The problem I see for us is the same thing we always have. Will they show up and make sure that the other team don't outscore us? Because we got those Cowboys blues. We come in as world beaters against teams we're supposed to beat. But against anybody with competition, some we just find a way to lose our way. Which brings me to San Francisco. I hear what everybody's saying about San Francisco. Hear me out. San Francisco was an anomaly. They are a great team. I don't believe that they'll do what everybody thinks they're going to do again this year. Here's why. Remember when New England lost Tom Brady when he tore his ACL, and the young man that came in behind him took the world by storm? That's because nobody had no video on him. Nobody had no video on Trey Lance. They had no video on Brock Purdy. And so when you lost Garoppolo, man, those two young quarterbacks came in and they did their thing. Not taking nothing from San Fran. All the problem is now you got tape on them. You know how to work around them. Christian McCaffrey is amazing. Can he stay healthy? That's the question. Kittle is amazing. Can he stay healthy? Problem with San Fran is with all this talent, all this loaded up front, they tend to get hurt every year. It tends to be something happen to them every time. Even with Bosa. Bosa is one of the best line DNs I've ever seen. He stay hurt. That's San Fran's only Achilles heel. But I agree with you. They loaded, and if they can stay healthy, they'll make a run. It's just that their quarterbacks won't do what they did to the league last year. Which brings me to Philly.
Ooh,
Philly is the scariest team in our division.
yeah.
They got to the Super Bowl and got outclassed. They were young. That probably won't happen no more. They remind me of the Bengals on this side. They didn't really lose anything. They gained more. When you pick up Carter, he got a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. It's hard to beat him. And that boy, Jalen Hurts, he's just hungry. So even though I love my Cowboys, if there's somebody representing us going to the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be the Eagles.
Ooh.
As the only
And that,
AFC fan,
yes,
you guys have both made some decent points. Like I said, Alvin was a little sauced up. His points, he came in there like,
that's
woo!
that's being nice.
He was giving me 1988 Macho Man vibes. But I I don't see the Cowboys coming out of the NFC. I see the Eagles again. For me, I did a little research, but as the AFC, and Alvin can attest, I've been a Bengals fan for a long time, and I've suffered for decades. I can tell a quick story on how I became a Bengals fan, because many would say, as a boy born and raised in Hampton Roads, Virginia, how the hell do you become a Cincinnati Bengals fan? And I'll tell that story in just a brief second. Brother was a Cowboys fan, just like most people in Virginia for some reason. Big Cowboys fan. They're either Cowboys or Redskins. I don't know if it's a Cowboy and Indians thing, but most people that I've come across in Virginia are one of those two fans, or Commanders. I'm sorry. and my brother said I had to pick a team because all I did was look at basketball. That was the only sport I really rock with. He was like, look, real men look at football. You need to pick a team. And I said, well, who do you like? He said, Cowboys, best team on the planet. I said, well, I'm not going to pick who you picked. So I said, he said, what's your favorite animal? I said, tigers. He said, well, the Bengals, that's a tiger. I said, boom, that's my team. I made that decision in 1988, and I stuck with that decision, and I was penalized for that decision for decades. So much so that I would lie when people say, who I don't really look at sports because it was embarrassing. But I really, really think the Bengals have been so close, so time, depended on Joe Burrow's health. As long as he's our quarterback, we have a shot. Kansas City is vicious, of course. Baltimore is a team that we should look out for, but Lamar got his money. But I'm going to Bengals, and I think Bengals are going to actually bring it home this year. So that's me. And out of the NFC, Eagles. So I'm going to say Eagles versus Bengals, and Bengals are going to do it this year.
I like what you got going on. I worry about the Bengals offensive line. Joe Burrows is an amazing quarterback when he's upright. The problem is our offensive line is trash.
That's facts. If we had the Cowboys line, we would have won like 5 Super Bowls by now.
and so y'all, everybody keep talking about the Ravens. They picked up Odell, and Lamar got his money.
They saying that Zay Flowers from I think he went to Iowa from Boston College. He was like one of the best wide receivers in college. They said he's dusting off wide receivers in training camp. They can't guard him one-on-one. And if Lamar got that type of weapon, watch out. It's gonna get real interesting in the AFC South. North.
Yeah, I was like, wrong direction, but yeah, Ravens or Cincinnati is who I have coming out of the AFC. And like I said, I feel Philadelphia. I feel what you said about Dallas, but I simply don't trust Dak Prescott, and I don't know how anyone could.
Like, so you trust Hurts
over Dak Prescott? Would you, if they offered you a swap right now, would you keep that?
I'll keep that.
No.
How about
I think
Gerald? If they said Hurts for Dak right now,
I'd take that trade in a heartbeat.
I would. If you put Dak had one bad season. That was last year. But if you put their numbers up against each other or whatever, it ain't. I mean, Hurts had a run, but I seen Hurts also get pulled out of a championship game for Tua. Like, Hurts is going to get you like to a certain point. And also, I don't think that style of play holds up. You can't keep running those draw plays with a quarterback.
I'm talking about right now, and I would love to do a poll. Maybe when this gets posted, if you could put a poll, I think every episode we should have a poll. Hurts for Dak swap. What say you, Below the Whistle fans? I'm very interested because I don't think there's too many people besides Alvin and Dak that would keep that deal.
And I got one more thing. The reason I got the Cowboys versus the Bengals too in the Super Bowl, and Gerald, you may be able to attest to this. The one thing that everybody got that Dak has never had is a deep threat. And now he got Brandon Cooks. Now I want to see how this offense rolls, that he got somebody that can push the secondary back, and now he can let Lamb just work the middle. Everybody we had has always been like possession receivers. Cooper, Lamb, Diaz. Now you got somebody that's going to stretch the defense out like how A.J. Brown does for Jalen Hurts. I want to see how the offense rolls now.
I just can't wait to see weekly as the depression sets in. I'm really excited about that because I know my man Kyle is serious about his football, and you see the grin, it's shining. It looked like he just got the fresh veneers. He's smiling. Think about it. Or training camp. I believe by week 6, I'm like, yo, this is you have a Newport.
They're gonna be looking for Blow the Whistle. It's gonna be 3 different hosts.
He's like, yeah, I sold the rights to the show. It's gonna be 3 white guys. It's gonna be Skip Bayless. I'm like, is that Skip Bayless?
I will say this. I hope Alvin is right. The realist in me won't make me believe it, but I sure hope he's right. I hope we take the world by storm, and we can if we go get Dalvin Cook.
Oh, ooh, man! Don't tease me like
And if we
that.
go get Dalvin,
I
if we
agree.
go get
You said Dalvin Cook and blow the whistle got X-rated for a minute. I saw Alvin like, oh. Say it slowly.
you think
uh,
about it, there's no reason a man at his age, doing what he did with the line he had in Minnesota can't come to Dallas and almost eclipse 1,500 yards rushing. Ain't no way.
I agree. I agree.
Uh, Tony Pollard's a great back. Very, very, but he's Christian McCaffrey when he was in Carolina. You can't do it by yourself. I'm telling you, Ronald Jones ain't what you think he is. And
No,
when you get to, you'll be like,
he's a reliever.
nah.
He just comes as a reliever. He come in for a series to give Pollard a break. I don't know. I think it works, but if you get Delvin Cook, yeah, we're talking a difference. So I don't know why Jerry Jones don't even make that move. And that's the thing I do hate about Jerry Jones because he's probably the best drafter in the league. I'm sorry, people probably disagree. If you look at our teams, we should have won. Like he's had some loaded teams, but he don't go all in each season, and that's why we're always 11-5, 12-4, too good to get a good draft pick, but too bad to get a good draft pick. I mean, not too bad, but you know what I'm saying? We can't get a good draft pick because we're just too good. So we're always going to draft like 25, 26. But he don't just do like the Rams did. Just put all your chips on the table. I'm going to get him, and load up. We may suck for 4 years after that, but go after it. Like, stop playing it safe all the time. Worried about the salary cap.
As a long life Lakers fan, and I can commit, that's one thing I'll give the Lakers. We go
Yes,
all in every opportunity that we can. And what's the point if you're
exactly.
not? I don't understand in any sports where you settle for mediocre in a second round playoff exit. What's the point? I'd rather be trash and get some
Yep.
quality picks and build because you're going to suck either way. If you're a
Yep.
phenomenal team, eventually they're going to get old, they're going to get bought out, and you're going to suck afterwards. But at least you got those chips to keep you warm at night. If you're a really bad team, you're going to get a bunch of great draft picks, but nobody's going to want to stay there because the culture is generally
Yep.
trash. So it's very rare, and you're seeing and then sometimes you just have a player that's so phenomenal that they take it to the level. I think we saw that with San Antonio, and we're seeing Pop now. Like, oh, maybe he wasn't good as we thought he
Yep.
was. Maybe he just had a team full of Hall of Famers. We're seeing this in New England. Maybe coach wasn't as good as we thought he was. You just had the greatest quarterback of all time. It's very rare
Yep.
where you see a team dominate in different generations like you see with the Lakers, which is that on the docket? I mean, I know it's a little late, but is that on the docket today? AD, should we give them a bonus segment?
Oh yeah, we can
We should.
we can put it up there. Go ahead and talk about it.
All right, so we're gonna do and guys, we're gonna be giving you football every week. I know that's coming. So my favorite time of the season, even though Short Man, our other host, would say it's boring, but don't listen to sports talk from Short Man. He's there for entertainment purposes only. What do you feel, guys, about this AD extension? Record 186 million, 3 years. We've got them locked, and I say we because I'm a diehard Lakers fan, locked down to 2028. I think it's a good thing. But Gerald, what say you? Do you feel it was a wise investment? Do you feel he's just too brittle and they should have held out off until the end of the season? What do you think about this extension?
So when we were talking about it offline the other day, I think y'all misconstrued what I was saying is, oh my God, not him. I'm like, oh my God, anything that we could have used to help LeBron with AD is now out the window with the extension. I think it was a little too big for me because now with all the pieces that we're picking up, we know how the NBA season can go. LeBron showed that he's no longer Iron Man. AD has shown that he is still what's the guy from Glass?
Oh, Mr.
Mr.
Unbreakable,
Glass.
Mr.
They call
Glass.
me Mr. Glass.
He said that when AD is healthy, he's one of the best centers you can have in the league. He can do anything you need him to do. My problem is he ain't never healthy. and LeBron is getting older, and so the extension it pretty much puts us in a box to where, like you said, he's with LeBron with the rest of LeBron's window. Knock on wood. Who knows what the future may hold, but he's not the AD, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt because AD stay hurt everywhere he's been. He's not the AD he used to be. Now he shies away from the contact. Now he don't even try to get down in the box and bang with nobody. He's just like, nope. I'm gonna shoot a three. I'm gonna get a jump. I'm gonna get a putback dunk. Because if you step on my big toe, I'm out for 2 months. You know,
So I have an interesting stat because I knew you were going to say that. And one thing about Anthony Davis, I don't think it's so much his injuries because they're all soft tissue injuries that he could probably play through if he has the motivation. I think with AD specifically is his motor and his motivation are his two problems. When you're feeding and running the offense through AD, what do you know? He plays through stuff. But when he's taking a back seat to a 67-year-old man like LeBron James, you kind of see him like, hey, what's going on? But there's players over the last 7 years, and I wish my phone didn't just die because I had these stats. So I'm going to try to see if I can remember it off the top of my head. But there's players that never get the brittle or injury prone that over the last 7 seasons, he's played far more games than. Steph Curry is one on that list. Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, all guys that no one gives them the brittle or injury prone. And over the last 7 years, he's played significantly more games. I think his biggest thing is motivation and motor. That's all I had to say. Go ahead, Kyle.
Oh no, you're right. That's what they added in. Kyrie Irving voluntarily sit out games, but keep
Yeah,
going.
and Kyrie Irving was another player on that list, and just because he didn't want to get the jab, and I don't disrespect anybody's wish for their health, but that try to have it both ways it's crazy. If you work a job that requires you to get the jab to play, if this is your job, you got to do it, bro. It's really that simple. But I think it was a great deal. There's no one out there that we could have got that has those numbers, that has that ability. When motivated and healthy, he's arguably a top 5 player in the league. When he's not motivated and healthy, he's arguably a top 15 player in the league. But when he's doing his thing, and I definitely feel LeBron is going to take a back seat this year. I think his numbers are going to go down because from what I'm hearing in the world nationals, that Austin Reeves is that guy. I'm hearing
oh yeah,
he's doing a thing, and I'm looking for him to be a 20-point per game player this year. I'm telling you guys now, no hyperbole at all. We winning that chip, LA all day. That's all I got to say about that.
So when it's the Cowboys,
yes, I am. That is my delusion. Like, we're getting everybody. I still think we're going to get Kyrie Irving by the trade deadline somehow, but, that's the happy dust I smoke when it comes to the Lakers.
all right, so I'm gonna say this. They had to make this move. First thing, LeBron is old. You can't risk going to get another superstar and hoping chemistry lines up with them with the time that he got left. They made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. I think they need some pieces
thanks.
around. Oh, go ahead, Drew.
thanks. Oh no, they made it thanks to Memphis. Man, Memphis shot themselves in the foot.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I get it. But no. I not to cut you off. I apologize, but you brought up a very valid point, and I'm the type of person I am the partner either one. And y'all are absolutely right. I didn't look at it from that standpoint because there is no other bigs out there that we could have got, so it doesn't make sense. And then the fact that we did move like that is pivotal. But I think it's only because the locker room in Golden State was trash after the infamous punch heard around the world, and Ja Wick. He could have went far. But go ahead. Yes,
I'm gonna make a bold statement because Mars said that he's one of the top players in the league when he's motivated. I think Anthony Davis is the best player in the league when he's motivated. Like he's unstoppable. And I'm gonna tell you why he's the best. Embiid doesn't do what Anthony Davis does on offense, where he can stretch the floor, pull out for the three. Embiid can pull him, but he's just pulling it because he can shoot it. Davis is actually good at it. You can't guard him 1-on-1. And then on defense, he'll take the game over. Like he'll come over and block shots on help defense. He'll take your best player 1-on-1. He destroyed the Joker in the bubble when they played them in the conference finals. I mean, the Joker has gotten better, but if I had to pick somebody, like I said, motivated, I don't think it's close. I think it's AD, then I probably go Joker, and then Embiid. I don't care, but I think the best weapon in the league that you can pair with LeBron is AD. I don't think it's close. I think they just need to put some people around them. Russell need to like actually show up when it's time to show up. Stop talking in the media. Stop talking about Austin Reeves coming to the cookout and all this, and actually play. Like actually show up, be a point guard, knock out those open threes when they need you to open them. I mean to hit them. Not against Memphis. Do it against the teams that matter. Denver. Do it when y'all are part in the playoffs. If they can get consistency out of that's been their whole problem since they've been together. The role players, if they can get them to be consistent and to show up when they need them to show up, they don't even need them every game. Just hit the shots when we need y'all to hit the shots. You're wide open. You're getting paid $15 to $20 million a year. Look at the Heat. When the playoffs come, Duncan Robinson and them, they start to show up. Not during the regular season, not running around doing dances, dapping each other up on the sideline and making up handshakes and throwing powder in the air. They just put their head down, they make the open shots, and they're always making a run to the finals. I think if the Lakers can get those type of role players, I think they win the championship.
And I think, Rob, we need to start talking about GM of the year. The moves, but honestly, if you look at it, this year 5 for LeBron in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 5.
Year 5. Honestly, if it wasn't for injuries, every year they were right there before they got hurt.
Yeah.
Every year you look at it, oh, they were 3 in the rankings. Oh, they were 2, and then you saw they started this year or this past year horrendous. As soon as they got the pieces around him that fit, the winning percentage is the best in the league. LeBron is not going to have the huge fall off that we think, honestly. The only adjustment that I would ask for LeBron, 3 threes per game, sir. You got 3 threes per game. You could take a win and where you want. But the days of I understand. I when you age, that drive into the basket is rough. But we don't need a 28 point per game. LeBron could be effective giving us 17, 8, and 10 every game and letting those extra points go to AD to give him that energy to stay motivated. I want to see an MVP year from AD this season. And I'm telling you guys right now, AD MVP. I'm calling it.
I second that. But also, I don't think LeBron even wanted to give y'all 28 a game. I just think he got to do it. You see, every time he goes to the bench, the other team makes a run. The offense all act like they don't know what to do. People can't make shots. People don't know how to run plays. I think he wanted to just give y'all like 15. He got the scoring record. He had nothing else that he needed to get. I don't think he even wanted to play. I think he probably wanted to play like 28 minutes a game. That'll be perfect for him until playoff time comes. He can't even do that.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that was the fit, and that's one flaw I have to put on this record for a man who arguably every single player, every single coach says he has the greatest IQ in basketball history. And we're talking about players like Magic, Kobe. LeBron doesn't have the biggest offensive bag, but his mind is so 3 steps ahead of everyone that he doesn't need to have a bag like Kobe or Kyrie. LeBron's biggest mistake was thinking that he can make it work with an older Russell Westbrook. If a Russell Westbrook with a Kevin Durant in his prime couldn't make it work, I don't know what made him think that that could work. And I think that hindered them a lot because some of the turnovers, and I am not going to pile on Russell Westbrook. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's done some things that we've never seen before and we'll never see again on the basketball court. But the things that LeBron needs to be a winner, Russell has none of them. He's not a good ball handler. The only person worse with the ball is probably Jaylen Brown.
It's probably me.
he's a hor- he's a horrible shooter. Although his numbers went up when he went to the Clippers, and more importantly, he I hear he's a great teammate, but even though if you're great as far as giving energy and promoting positivity, some of those turnovers are just disheartening. We've all played, and when somebody's just turning the ball over and you have to run up and down the court, I don't care what condition you are, that is stressful. So, with that problem out the way, he has players that he can trust, such as a Reeves. I hear Max Christie is slowly developing into a young gunner. I'm really happy with what we did. And I know we're talking about AD. Golden State is someone I think that chemistry is going to be back on par. Curry's been having the summer of all summers. He's hitting hole in ones. He's rapping with Toby. He's motivated. I think we might see Golden State really do something as well. I know a lot of people are sleeping on him, but I think another player we may think may have an MVP season is Curry. I think he's going to do great this year. And New York Knicks, they did some great draft picks.
Oh, don't Westbrook remind you of Petty when we used to play back in the days and they would zone out? You'd be like, no, no. And they would just like start driving to the hoop. No, don't shoot it. Don't shoot it.
Yes, they have very similar basketball IQs. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys don't know that reference, but trust me, very similar.
Anything else, Big Gerald?
No, but that was it.
All right, so we got one more thing and we let y'all go home.
Nerd fight, nerd fight, nerd fight. Oh man, who wants to start on this? Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg. Agreement has been made. They're going to be boxing on X or Twitter, whatever the hell you call it nowadays, or not boxing, MMA. We got 50-something-year-old Elon versus 39-year-old or 37-year-old Mark Zuckerberg. They've both been training. I've seen the footage. It's hilarious, but they're going to be fighting. Who do you got? Gerald, please. This might even be a / Black Air Force Energy because these are billionaires. I don't know. Please give us what you got on this one.
So since you got to pick, I'll pick somebody. But let me start by saying to all my people out there in the Mars Entertainment Universe and to all my Christian Mingalites, whoever gets beat up is still richer than all of us. So it ain't gonna matter.
That's true.
Mark Mark Zuckerberg is probably gonna dust Elon, but he ain't gonna hit him too hard because it's for charity. And Elon is one of the richest beings on the planet, so there's that. But like I said, don't have us in the universe watch this fight and go there and start picking on a man who don't care about nothing y'all talking about. He don't care. He's absolutely
I, ooh,
fine. That's it.
I agree with you. I got a couple of things with this. First thing, let's normalize old people fighting. Like I think this is great. Two people whose lives may be at risk because they're just too old to be doing this shit. Like I think this is like perfect. Like somebody can have a heart attack in the ring. Like let's normalize these matchups where like they may fight to the death, literally. Secondly, they need to put something up, like maybe put X up against Instagram, and whoever loses the company. Like I feel like this is soft, like normal everyday people like put up like savings and shit to fight. So if y'all gonna make the fight mean something, won't y'all put the companies up? I think it'll make them train. I think it would be fun. I'm pretty sure they'll figure something out where the other person still like be on the board for the company or get like profits or something. I don't know. Like I take the company over for a year and do what I want to do with it. Like something that'll like really make it mean something. But I think Mark is gonna win. He trains with real UFC fighters. If that fight happens, I'm making Gerald and Mars. We're gonna stream that, not the fight live, but we're gonna get footage live. Like we gotta be around each other when this is going on. But I think this is good for the sport. I'm pretty sure Dana White is gonna have his hands in the pot somewhere. He's always back there just lurking, waiting for this stupid type of stuff to happen. But man, I love this. This is perfect. So that's my prediction. I got Mark winning. I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, I
So
would honestly love if we handled all problems like this. You know, instead of having a world war, just have the presidents of each country fight in a cage, and whoever wins, winner takes all. Like Biden versus Putin, fight. Damn, I guess we're Russian now. Uh, so it's hilarious to me. I've seen the footage of Mark Zuckerberg. He got some abs now. Look like he put on a little muscle. And Elon Musk, he's probably got a cyber link in his head. He's probably have Android. I wouldn't be surprised if a cannon comes out of his arm and he's like Cyborg from DC. Like, did he just shoot him with a Kamehameha? What the hell? It's hot trash, but it's hilarious, and I'm here for it. I watched Maury Povich and Jerry Springer for free growing up, so seeing some billionaires knock themselves out is hilarious to me. Probably ends in a draw, and they'll both end up donating $100 million for whatever charity they choose. But yeah, let's make it a little bit more interesting. The winner has to name Facebook to Musk Book or turn
oh,
Instagram to the Zuck, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's gonna be hilarious seeing these old billionaires fight. We've seen bum fights, so let's go with billionaires fights. I'm ready for it.
Shoot, I mean, billionaires watch bums fight all the time over money. It's time to switch it up. Like you said, let's watch these rich people fight.
Absolutely. I want to see Warren Buffett versus Bill Gates on the undercard, followed
Oh,
by the Black Billionaire battle. So we get Kanye versus Jay Z, and then we'll have a full range and gamut of, or maybe Jordan's. He's still a billionaire. Yeah, he sold the Hornet. So maybe Jordan versus Jay Z on a match to the death. That'd be great.
if we get an undercard with Rihanna versus Taylor Swift or something, or I don't know, one of them
As
Kardashians.
soon as she drops it, I think
oh,
Rihanna would beat the shit out of Taylor Swift, even pregnant.
yes,
She's from
I don't see that
Barbados.
going well.
I don't want to see that. I'm not into snuff films. That would be a murder. Ask Chris Brown. Pause. I'm sorry. Never mind.
uh,
I hear you
uh,
got it. I just
yes,
got us canceled. I just got us canceled. I'll edit that out. It's fine.
and so yeah, no, hey, don't let her fight no Kardashians either. They ain't fighting, they suing. I guarantee they ain't getting in the ring.
No, you're right. You're right.
I don't know. I saw Kim give Courtney on one of those episodes. She gave her the smack. So
Yeah.
interesting.
Kim Kardashian fighting Rihanna. Remember on Lean on Me where they walked in on the girl in the restroom and just started snatching the clothes off. You know what? That'll be horrible.
Yeah, I'm picking Rihanna over some guys. I think she beat ASAP Rocky, to be honest. So, like, I Rihanna looks tough for some reason. I like it's not too many people that I think could beat Rihanna on a square up. But guys, we thank you so much. We're
Disappointing.
just over an hour. Gerald, thank you so much for your first appearance on Blow the Whistle Sports. We hope to see you plenty more. Kyle, of course, our gracious host and creator, man. Thank you so much. And I'll be back with the referee shirt on. I just wanted to show y'all the guns. A brother been working out for Vegas, so I was just showing off a little bit. But guys, you
Okay.
know what to do. I want y'all to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you turn your notifications on so when these episodes drop, you're getting them fresh right out the oven from the guys over here at the Mars Media Empire. Of course, for your boy Kyle Jones and for Big Gerald, where Christian Mingle is always going up. We thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back again. Blow the whistle. I don't have a
Peace.
whistle. I can't whistle shit.